Hello, everyone. I'm Beth Post, Director of Financial Aid at Skidmore College. Over my 38-year career, I've fielded countless questions from students and their families. With those experiences in mind, I'll be breaking down financial aid in a way that I hope is approachable and will leave you feeling confident and prepared. We'll talk about the different types of financial aid, the key things to know about each type, and the major pitfalls to avoid. Let's dive in. Financial aid is any resource, federal, state, institutional, or private, that helps you pay college costs. There are three main categories. Grants and scholarships, also known as gift aid, are funds that you do not repay. They are primarily awarded based on family financial need, but could also be based on talents such as sports or music. Loans are borrowed funds that you repay over time with interest. They require enrollment at a college. Work-study, student employment involves a part-time job that is often subsidized by the federal government and the college, so students can earn money while enrolled. Let's talk more about each category and how they all fit together. Two of the most common grants are the federal Pell Grant and, for New York State residents, TAP, or the Tuition Assistance Program grant. The federal Pell Grant is funded by the federal government. Eligibility is based on your Student Aid Index, or SAI, which is a formula-based number used to determine how much financial aid you may need based on data you provide on the FAFSA form. As a rough guideline, if your adjusted gross income is under $55,000, you will likely qualify. The lower the income, the higher the Pell Award, up to the maximum of over $7,000. The New York State TAP grant is for New York State residents attending a New York State college. A maximum grant is determined each year, and to qualify for the minimum of $1,000, your combined parent and student New York net taxable income must be under $125,000. TAP awards are first come, first served, so file your FAFSA early to unlock TAP eligibility. If grants and scholarships don't fully cover your costs, federal loans can fill the gap. There are three primary types at the undergraduate level. Subsidized direct loans to students are need-based. The U.S. government pays the interest while you're enrolled at least half time and during a 6-month grace period after graduation. For first-year students, the maximum is $3,500. Interest is fixed and repayment begins 6 months after leaving college over a 10-year term. Unsubsidized direct loans to students are not need-based. Interest starts accruing from day one, though you can defer payments until after graduation. First-year students can borrow up to an additional $2,000 at a fixed interest rate and 10-year repayment term. Parent Plus loans allow a parent of a dependent undergraduate to borrow up to the cost of attendance minus any other aid. A credit check is required. If the Parents Plus loan is denied due to credit issues, the student becomes eligible for an additional up to $4,000 in unsubsidized loans. The interest rate is higher, however, and the repayment starts after disbursement unless the loan is deferred. Repayment options can be adjusted if you need a lower monthly payment. Although loans carry interest, they let families spread out college costs over time rather than paying everything up front. Work-study is a part-time employment, often on campus, that helps students earn money for educational expenses. Federal work-study funds are awarded to students who demonstrate need. The federal government and the college share the costs of the student's wages. Funds are limited and may be awarded on a first-come, first-served basis, so file early. Skidmore Work-Study is available to all enrolled students, including international students, regardless of need. At Skidmore, any student can earn up to $4,000 per academic year in campus student employment. Earnings from work-study or other on-campus jobs help you cover personal expenses, books, or next semester's tuition. You receive a paycheck and choose how to use those funds, either toward future bills or day-to-day costs. The FAFSA, or Free Application for Federal Student Aid, opens on October 1 each year for the next academic year. It's required by federal, state, and many institutions. On the FAFSA, you provide your, and if you are a dependent student, your parents' income, asset, and household information. For many private colleges, including Skidmore, the CSS Profile financial aid application is also required. Unlike the FAFSA, which is used by all federal loan and grant programs, the CSS Profile, administered by the College Board, delves deeper into your financial situation and collects information about assets, such as home equity, and expenses like non-discretionary medical or educational costs. Skidmore requires the CSS Profile by November 8 for Early Decision Round 1 and January 15 for Early Decision Round 2 and Regular Decision. International students who cannot afford the CSS Profile may use Skidmore's alternate institutional aid form, which is located in the admissions portal. Even if you're applying elsewhere, review their deadlines carefully. Some federal and state funds are first come, first served. If you miss a priority deadline, you risk losing institutional funds that fill the gap between your student aid index and the college's cost of attendance. Here are some frequent errors that can delay processing or miscalculate your eligibility. Catch these early. Incorrect contributor setup. If your parents are married but file taxes separately, both parents must create FAFSA contributor accounts and sign off on your FAFSA. Otherwise, the form is incomplete and cannot be processed. Name and Social Security number mismatch. The FAFSA pulls data from the Social Security Administration. Using nicknames like Mike instead of Michael or mistyping your Social Security number prevents verification. Always match exactly what's on your Social Security card. Failure to include a step-parent if parent remarried. On both the CSS Profile and FAFSA, if your custodial parent remarried, you must include your step-parent's financial information. The non-custodial parent is excluded entirely. Reporting home equity, retirement funds, or primary residence value on the FAFSA. Only include cash, savings, checking, investments, and non-primary residence property equity. Failure to report home value, home debt, retirement funds, and other assets on the CSS Profile. Note that Skidmore mitigates home equity when determining your financial need. Using a high school email address. If you use a school-issued address like a .edu or .k12 account that expires, you may lose future access upon graduation. It's best to use a permanent personal email for all FAFSA or College Board logins. Once your FAFSA and CSS Profile are submitted, each school calculates your student aid index or family contribution. This index or family contribution is based on income, assets, household size, and for the CSS Profile, number of family members in college. At Skidmore, we use the family contribution derived from your CSS Profile data to determine your eligibility for Skidmore grant assistance. The college then determines its cost of attendance, including tuition and fees, room and meal plan, estimates for books, supplies, and personal expenses. Your family contribution or student aid index is subtracted from this total to determine your demonstrated financial need. For example, at a private college, with an $80,000 cost of attendance, if your family contribution is $10,000, Your demonstrated need is $70,000. If the same family applies to a public college with a $25,000 cost of attendance and $10,000 is the student aid index, demonstrated need is then $15,000. For a community college with a $5,000 cost of attendance, a $10,000 student aid index would result in no demonstrated need. Notice how one family can have very different financial need figures depending on each college's cost of attendance. That's why award offers can vary so widely. At Skidmore, we pledge to meet 100% of admitted students' demonstrated need for all 4 years. That means if your need is $70,000, we will assemble grants, work-study opportunity, and federal loans so that they total $70,000. We'll illustrate exactly how that breaks down in the next section. When you receive an award letter, it will typically list grants and scholarships or gift aid. This is free money you do not repay, such as federal or state grants or institutional grants. Work study. These are maximum earnings you may receive via part-time subsidized campus employment. You'll earn this money in a paycheck. Loans. The amount you're eligible to borrow, subsidized versus unsubsidized. These funds are dispersed to the school. You can choose to decline loans or borrow less. Life changes like job loss, medical bills, or other unexpected expenses can affect your ability to pay. If your financial situation changes after you file your FAFSA or CSS profile, you can request consideration for your unusual circumstances. You'll need to provide documentation that the college requests, such as tax returns, medical bills, or other proof, and your student aid index or family contribution may be adjusted to reflect your current reality. If, after reviewing an award letter, you feel the aid is still insufficient, you can file an appeal, essentially a request for reconsideration. College financial aid offices want to help admitted students attend, and if you present new information, we'll do our best to find additional resources. Let's recap the key points. File the FAFSA after October 1 for all federal, state, and many institutional programs. At Skidmore, complete the CSS profile by November 8 for early decision round 1 or January 15 for early decision round 2 and regular decision. Use the international aid form if you cannot afford the CSS profile fee. Deadlines matter. Submit financial aid applications by each college's priority date to maximize funds. Understand your student aid index. It's a major factor in determining your federal aid eligibility. Calculate demonstrated need. Cost of attendance minus your calculated family contribution equals need. Skidmore pledges to meet 100% of need for all admitted students. Compare award letters. Focus first on total grants and scholarships, then loans, work study, and any parent plus loan financing options. Special circumstances or appeals. If your finances change or you need more aid, request a review or an appeal. Thank you for joining our session on demystifying financial aid. We hope you now feel more confident whether you're applying to Skidmore or any other college. If you have questions or need help, please reach out to our financial aid office at financialaid@skidmore.edu, and good luck with your applications and financial planning. In the next module, you'll learn how to maximize your campus visit experience. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and remember, you've got this.